right, notice how Clark has a good stance with his hands, and he's opened up his chest, and he's going all the way down, touching his chest, and extending all the way up. Really good form. You want to keep that back flare so that you pop your chest open and flare that chest muscles out so you can activate the chest muscles. All right, let's get it. Great job, dude. Great job. You can really see his upper chest activating right now. Getting that good pump, activating those muscle fibers. How you feeling?
Good, good, good. I also like to try to take a semi-medium to wider grip on there to kind of really get a stretch on my pecs. I feel like when you go too narrow on the grip, you're really hitting your triceps and your deltoids more than anything else.
And a lot of times with myself, whenever I keep my hands too close, I put a lot of strength in my elbows, so I kind of keep a wider grip so I can really get that full stretch in and not put so much impact on my shoulders and elbows.
Also, I try to imagine myself squeezing my chest in as I'm pushing, rather than just trying to extend my arms out. And of course, full range of motion. If you don't have any shoulder issues or anything else, always go full range of motion. You're going to get a better result that way.
All right, let's go, man. Last one. There you go. Come on. Killing it, man. Killing it. Looking good, man. Looking good. Let's move on to the next one. All right, incline dumbbell. Again, take a breather. All right, we're trying to build a bigger chest, so we're not trying to speed along and utilizing this as like a cardio workout, right? So definitely take your rest. Let your muscles, take a little breather so you can hit that next set and be able to complete it and put your all into that next set. Let your muscles recover and whatever it be, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever.
All right.
All right, same concept as the incline barbell press. Elbows out, coming above, right above your eyesight, and again, like you're trying to squeeze your chest together.
Also, you notice the way I get it up and I get it started. You want to kind of just move it into position, use your legs to help assist you, especially when you're going a little bit heavier. You don't want to try to do this and throw your shoulder out of socket.
That's definitely some good advice. Especially when you get up in weight, you don't want to try to curl it up there. You're going to have to kick your knees and know how to control the weight. So once you kick your knees, you're going to naturally get into that position. So, just be careful if the weight's too heavy, so you can have more control of it. But definitely pick the weight up if you can. You're going to get a bigger chest, you're going to have to, use a little heavier weight and, force yourself to go a little heavier.
How about I show you guys how not to do it? Here's a set how not to do it.
Don't go home too early, man.
And then do this, not to do that. And then to do this, not to do that either. So,
and you're strong when you can show a person how not to do it and still do it.
And how not to do it, that's what's going to pull your shoulder out of socket.
Bring it down to your chest and then slowly stand up and then fall back on your legs. Again, take a rest. Again, we're not trying to speed through this. We're trying to build muscle. And to build muscle and strength, you're not speeding along through the workouts, right? You want to get some quality muscle contraction and full range.
Hey everybody, how you all doing? Peter Carvalho here from SixPackFactory.com, and today I'm going to show you one of the most powerful home chest workouts we've ever created here at Six Pack Factory. Now the best part of this workout is that you will need no equipment. All of the things we're going to use, you probably have there at home already. Now today it's very important to pay special attention on how to do each one of these exercises, and I'm going to go through each one of them so you know exactly how to do them to get the best possible results. So as always, let's look at each exercise, and then I'm going to show you the workout structure straight afterwards so you can build a big, powerful chest right there at home using no equipment. Now before we get going with the first exercise, I just want to show you a simple technique on how you can make any of these exercises a lot harder. What you do is you simply grab yourself a backpack, grab yourself a couple of dumbbells, stick it into that, and then you basically just put your backpack on, and then you do the exercises with it straight on there. It doesn't get in the way, it's simple, it's straightforward, and makes the exercise a lot harder, which means you're going to get a lot better results. I'm going to do the first exercise with the backpack and the other two without, so you can see exactly how you can use this to get even better results. So let's get on with the first exercise. Okay, so the first exercise is a very straightforward incline push-up. And basically what you do is stick your feet onto somewhere. I'm just going to put it on my couch here, you can put it on a table or anything else, but that's when we're going to start using the technique. It's going to make this exercise a lot harder. So let's get going so I can show you. What we are basically going to do is we're going to focus on the eccentric part of each one of these exercises. That means the lowering down or the extension of your muscle part. So if I was doing a dumbbell curl, then for example, this is concentric, you're contracting it, and then eccentric is when you let it down. So what I'm going to do is get my feet on here, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do each one of these exercises, but let's get going with the first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you explode up. Bang! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bang! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bang! Okay? And that makes it a lot harder. If you can normally do like 10, 15 push-ups like that, you're going to struggle to do about 8 or 9, sometimes even a lot less. So do it that way, add the extra weight, and that's the first exercise and a good way to start because it focuses on the upper but also the full chest area. The second exercise is basically a dip, and here we need to focus on 2 things. We once again are going to focus on the eccentric part of the exercise, but you also need to make sure you lean as far forward as possible, and I'll show you in a second, so that we can hit the chest more than the triceps. If you go straight up, you're hitting the triceps a little bit more. Also, if you are using chairs like I have here, do it this way rather than hanging on these things. I know it might seem like, oh, this is nice and easy, let's do this, but it tips very easily and you will injure yourself. Also, if you have something like the ultimate body press or you have dipping bars at home, use them. I'm just showing you how to do it without any equipment for those people who don't have it, so I can show you can still get a powerful and effective workout even if you don't have any special home fitness equipment. Okay, so get this nice and close, and then basically you're going to lean on this, and then the secret is to go forward as far as possible. So you don't want to be here, okay? If you do this, you're working your triceps mostly. If you go here, you start working your chest a bit more. Okay, so once again, we're going to go down 5 seconds and then explode up, down 5 seconds, explode up. So let me do just 2 or 3 reps so you can understand how it all works. Okay.
First place we're starting is the pull-up bar. Okay, yes, I said pull-up bar because, again, we're following suit with what we talked about before regarding hard gainers. One of your biggest problems is going to always be activation. Remember, the first time you've ever did a dumbbell bench press or a barbell bench press, you don't even know where the weight is in space. You're doing your dumbbells and they're kind of floating around. Right. People tell you to bring them up together. You never really hit them in the same spot. That's a proprioception issue. But there's also a muscle awareness issue. And one of the key points, whenever you are going to press, and we're going to have to press if we're going to build your chest, is you got to be able to press with the chest and not the shoulders. And we cover this in the video for our more advanced guys, but you can see it's integral to what we do, and it's very important that you start now. So what I have Jesse do, and what I'm recommending you do, is start off with some scat pulls on a pull-up bar, on chest day, believe it or not. And he's just basically trying to do a pull-up without moving his arms, without bending his arms. And he gets up there and holds it for a couple seconds. And the point here is we're trying to activate his lower traps, get to the ability to be able to control the scapula, pull it down, and hold it there. I'll show you why it's important in a second. A couple more. So I'd have him do just a couple sets of this, right? 6, 7, 8 of them, held for a couple seconds each. Now, come on down. We talk about you want to ingrain it right away with what you're actually going to do, and that's with actually pressing. So when we press, what we do wrong a lot of times as hard gainers is we press and we lead with our shoulder, and we let our arm do the pressing. So let's show what that looks like. As we press, the arms are doing the pressing, especially as you're trying to use maybe heavier weights than you should. You're pressing, you're letting the arm lead the way. That's not what you want to do. You want to let your chest lead the way. So the arms have to stay back. The only way the arms can stay back, the shoulders can stay back, is by having an awareness of those muscles on the back side. That you just hopefully woke up a little bit and made aware that they're going to need to work. Exactly. So now let's see with the scap pull down. So here, you press out and you lead with the chest. So this is doing the contraction. This is staying back. Okay, so pressing that way. In, as hard as you can, press. There you go. So I have him do some presses standing up in the air just like that. And you can see even his posture is improving because we're working on these things. Now, we take it over to the bench press. Okay, so the bench press is not an exercise that you want to avoid at any level, especially as a hard gainer, because it's going to help you to start building more of that size. But you got to do one thing for me. Jesse, you got to do one thing for me too, and you've been doing one thing for me, and that is you got to get over the small plate phobia. See, there's nothing worse than heading to the gym and then getting ready to bench press, and maybe all you can do is this on the end of the bar, because you do anything to have people be able to see that big 45-pounder on the outside, so that even if that girl's staring at you at the other side of the gym, at least she sees 145. She can imagine that there's 2 or 3 stacked on the inside of it, but you just want to get to the point where you can do the bigger plates. The biggest mistake is people doing that and not being able to, they're monkey fucking the plates in the bar and they can't get any good reps out. You're defeating the entire purpose, and that is why your chest isn't grown. So you have to start with a weight that you can control, but there is a way that you can incorporate heavier weights, okay? And it's actually going to be necessary for neurologically waking up your muscles a little bit to help them feel more comfortable and confident in handling heavier weights. So what we do is we take the pins and we set them up high, okay? I'm not concerned about depth. I'm not concerned about anything. What I want to do here is get a weight that I'm going to adjust here by 20%. From what Jesse's going to work with. So if he's working with 115, what we'll do is we'll get him up to 135. Again, a weight that he's not going to try to lift because he's not going to be able to do it so well since he's just starting out. But instead, what I want him to do is get comfortable with the weight in his hands. Okay, a touch up. So we get in here, and all I want him to do is unrack it, okay? So for a few times, he's just going to unrack and get it up over his chest. He adheres to the same principles of the press. Just up nice, holds it for a couple seconds, brings it back down. Okay, again, a weight that he's not necessarily comfortable repping out with. Do another one. And he starts to feel more confident with the weight. Okay, put it down. Now, after doing a couple of the unpinnings here, now what he has to do is do one set, and I don't care how, again, with the pins nice and high, I don't care how many reps he winds up doing. When he winds up failing, he comfortably is going to come down to the pins. Eccentrically feel the weight all the way down. Get comfortable feeling what that weight feels like. Come on down. Now he's going to lift up. Get in position here. Go ahead. Press up. There you go. Nice. All the way. Down slow. There. Okay, press, and down slow. Good. So that's all he has to do is do a rep or 2 or whatever it is to feel comfortable with that weight, and then we're going to go into his working weight. So now what I do is take his working weight, which is now instantly going to feel lighter. Because neurologically, he's commanded the weight that was heavier, he's convinced himself that he can handle it. Maybe he's not capable of handling it for full sets and reps, but in a confidence, from a confidence standpoint, he can handle it. So now we get in here, now we do our working sets with this weight, which it could be, again, in the 6 to 8 rep range. We're trying to build strength here. But it's a weight now that's 20% less than what he just did, and neurologically he's turned himself on. That's it. I won't make you do the whole set, just do one more. It even feels a bit light from, go ahead, come on up. Like the same way that a baseball player who would swing a donut on the end of a baseball bat would then go to the baseball bat itself, he's sort of neurologically turned that on. All right, we got one more step here. Again, critical for getting hard gainers to start unlocking more size. Okay, last thing, now we're on a dip. Okay, now what we want to make sure that you know how to do, and we can do this easily with the dip, is not just train to failure, but to learn how to take and train through failure. And we talked about that again. As a hard gainer, we tend to not understand what our true limits are, and that usually holds us back. So on this What's up, guys? Jeff Cavalier, AthleteX.com. So I'm sure you've been told to do lots of incline bench press if you want to build your upper chest. And of course, if you want to get that lower chest, you're going to want to make sure that you do lots of decline bench presses as well. And you don't want to forget the all-important flat bench press to work the overall development of your chest. And of course, don't forget to do dips, because dips are a great way to build your chest. Now that's all great, but what if you've already done all those exercises and you continue to do them, but you're not happy with your chest? Today I want to show you 8 non-bench chest building alternatives that you can start using to get better results from your chest training. So first, it makes sense to look at what might be wrong with the other exercises that you have been doing and why they're not working for you. And the fact is, you can look really easily and see that when we do, let's say, a dip here again, look at the position of the hands. At no point do they get closer to each other. They're fixed on the handles, and you're simply moving up and down. And no matter what variation of the bench press I'm doing, whether it be incline, flat, or decline, my hands don't really get that much closer together, especially if I'm using a barbell. They're literally fixed on the bar. But even when we do the dumbbell variations, we're not getting them anywhere more than to each other or meeting each other in the middle. They're not going across each other. And what I'm going to argue here for you is that it's not always about the weight that you're pushing, but the amount of activation that you're getting. And simply getting more activation by getting a full chest contraction is going to provide a much better stimulus for you to start seeing better results. And guess what? It's going to make those even better. And by the way, I'm going to show you a way that you can make your bench press even better. I'm going to hold that for the end of the video. But let's start with our first exercise. Now let's start with a simple one. It's a bodyweight exercise that we can all start doing right now and actually feel the difference. And it's a twisting push-up. And what you'll see here is we can get that arm more across our body, not by changing the position of the hand or the fact that the arm is actually still fixed in place on the ground, but by changing the position of our body in relation to the arm. So you can see that a regular push-up here, I'm fixed in space, but with this twisting push-up, I'm actually turning into the arm. So as I turn in, look what's happening here. If I hold my arm out in front of me and I turn my body into it, I've got this relative adduction. I've got the crossover that I'm looking for. And you can literally alternate sides left and right and feel the difference in the contraction. And I promise you, if you've struggled to see your chest grow, do these just to at least get yourself activated and have your chest start working more, and you're going to see better results from doing them. The next one here is called the plate squeeze. And this is actually really fun to do. And we could do it either as a chest activator right before the workout, or you can even do it in drop set fashion after some of those big bench exercises. Because remember, we're not going to abandon them completely. We're trying to make them work for you. And in the plate squeeze, what I'm trying to do here is, yes, I'm only getting the plates to be able to touch in front of me in the middle, but I'm thinking about trying to push them through each other. If I can crush them right into each other, that would be ideal. And what we're doing is getting maximum chest activation here, because we have this very strong isometric. And again, the heavier the plates you use here, the stronger you're going to have to push, because that weight's going to want to slide and drop down. For an added challenge, you turn the plates around, make sure you use the smooth sides on both, and that's going to make you really have to push hard again. No matter where you program it, this becomes a great option for you to get better chest activation. Okay, I kind of lied on the next one here because you do need a bench for this one, but not to do a bench press. We're doing a dumbbell pullover. And again, you might think, wait, dumbbell pullover is a back exercise. No, it could be a great upper chest exercise, because look at how I'm doing it. The key here is not to pull with your elbows. So you're not trying to lead with your elbows and let your elbows stay flared out on the sides of your body, because that becomes a great lat exercise. But what I can do is I can take my hands and squeeze them together. I'm actually trying to turn them in like this as I pull down. So I'm squeezing my hands together, trying to adduct my hands into each other to pull the dumbbell forward. And I don't come all the way up. I'm trying to maintain that tension on the upper chest, and that happens in that fully stretched position and then up only about 30 or 40 degrees. If you've never tried this exercise with the intention of